Well, good evening. You're very welcome to the Masters Championship round number 5 of Division 2 here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. My name is Graham, and I'll do my best to bring you the action tonight from a track that can be scarce on track activity, but hopefully with maybe a safety car or two in the works, who knows, we could get a bit of spice this evening. So, a couple of bits of house clearing to clear up from the last, from this round, or from last round heading into this round. You can see in the Mercedes at the moment, we've got Thomas. He is one of the two drivers that has come in to Division 2, as well as, if you can find him in the Haas, there he is, F1 AMG 44. I wonder where he takes the inspiration from. But he's in the Haas, and then TMC Wesker is here in the Williams, reserving, but without ABS. So that is what the story is. Thomas is going to get us going here with his flying lap, but as he does, we'll kind of go quickly through the standing. So TMC Coreboy, who is not here this week, is leading the way on 73 points, which means TMC Yarm has a chance to close up the gap and even overtake him with a good race. He's on 63 points. Sway in third rather, he's on 48 points, just 2 points ahead of Mark Demand in fourth, and then is Sway's teammate TMC Racy in fifth place. And in the constructors, Racing Point leading the way, 95 points, 15 clear of both Alfa Romeo and McLaren, who are both on 80. Fourth place is Red Bull, and then Renault in sixth on 36 points. Red Bull are on 71 points, if I didn't make that clear. So that is the housekeeping heading into this one. Thomas here is going to get started on the hards. Majority of the field rocking those hard compound tyres as he navigates the final chicane, which I've actually grown to like, to be fair. It's actually not too bad once you get nicely hooked up and see what Thomas has done here. He's done a 19.3 to get the ball rolling with that one. Top pretty. See how that lap holds up. A bit of a warm lap for Mark Demand there, 21 flat, and you can see Tom Pretty actually starting his lap. So he runs down towards turn 1, and Captain Chuz is out of this session already. Now, where did he... He was on track as Adi Baba goes quickest, 19.1 for the Red Bull driver, as AMG popped himself into third place, 20.4. So the laps are coming in thick and fast. He can pick up a car. The lap should be Ali's. The advantages of having a track map. You can see who is actually coming up next. This is beautiful. Where has this been all my life? But Ali comes into the final chicane, missing the apex on entry, and then horribly is cut on the exit. Let's see if that is validated this time as he runs down towards the line. It's a 19.6, and you have to say there's room for improvement as Haas into the gravel trappers, and McLaren coming through. Much be Timo, and it is as Timo starts his flying lap, and see Wesker there obviously not qualifying either. So there is a Toro Rosso come around. PFC Steve, what can he do? Second place, but he is on the medium tyre, so he wanted a little bit more pace than that. A 19.2 for PFC Steve, and it's Mark Demand coming back through to 21 flat still. So I'm not sure if he's had another go, but it hasn't gone to plan. He's still the slowest of the drivers. If you set a time so far, his teammate, I believe, is just coming back into the pits, which means we've got a chance to kind of breathe and go on board Stevie G in the Racing Point. Did I say Force India? Sorry, I meant to say Racing Point if I said Force India. It's an old habit. But you see TMC Stevie G has just run out of ERS just before the end of that lap, but he popped himself into fourth place. Who was that? It was a Haas coming across the start finish. It's AMG to begin, I believe, start his lap. He's not got a lot of ERS that maybe perhaps one might want to start. I'll just try and see who's else on a flying lap. Sway still into the pit, so he's actually just crawling out. He's going to be careful because you can get disqualified for blocking the pit lane, and I've seen it happen. It does happen. But here's Timo then, and he pops himself into sixth place, 19.6 for him. He's just behind Ali by a couple of hundredths. Bit of traffic here coming into the final chicane, but nothing to worry about because they are both heading into the pit. I think Tom Pretty, is he going to carry on? He is. So he's got a little bit of ERS left. So 21.4, so not an improvement for Tom Pritchett on this occasion, but a lot of people then coming into the pits, getting their laps kind of wrapped up. Some people still on the hards out there on the track, but most people kind of in, and I suspect we will not see them until later on when they've put on the medium compound tyres. But it looks like PFC Steve might be the black sheep going for a set of sauce, and that's a bit more like it. 19.153, just 7 thousandths ahead of Adibaba as AMG on pole position at the moment. You can see unsafe release coming through start a flying lap. Is he? No, he's just finishing one, but it's 22 flat, and very much flat in terms of pace because it's currently P last, but it looks like he did hardly use any ERS, so I suspect there is more to come on that front. And no one else on the lapper is TMC Timo, I would almost call him, getting ready to start his lap. Not a lot of traffic in front, unless I don't think he's out of fuel, just getting himself ready. Let's go on board actually. Go on board with Timo. Kind of nothing else going on at this stage of the session, so into overtake and then down this long main straight, probably the longest run down to turn 1 on the calendar. It's what they say. Tentative through the first 2 turns. In and then drift out. Very wide for Timo. But he gets the car slowed down to 10th up on his time. Wheel on the grass a little bit. He makes his way through, heading down towards turn 5. A nice corner to hook up if you can get right. Short shift to 4th. Understeering a little bit through there, but he charges up the hill, and probably one of the more difficult parts of the track to get right. 7 and 8. Back end wants to step away from you. And then through turn 9, have to lift, make or break corner that, and then heading down towards the second DRS straight and turn 10. And doesn't quite hit the apex, but still going. A couple of people have started their laps again. You can see Awesome Dudes just up to 8th, Sway in 9th. But we'll stick with Timo. We've done so far. And better last chicane. Will it mean an increase in position? Let's see, then he charges down towards the line. It's not bad to be fair, but it's only a 19.5. He leaps into 6th place, just ahead of Ali, who he was previously behind. There's another Mercedes, and this Sygate he's just set at 20.2. As he knows, he's just starting a lap. His previous best is at 20.2. Just see, there's a Red Bull heading down this straight. Mark Demand starting a lap. He's on the medium tyre though, and a couple more people kind of venturing out onto those softs. So Mark Demand with 8 minutes to go is put on a set of mediums. That could be leading up towards a set of softs. PFC Steve obviously talked about on a set of softs. Now F1 AMG on a set of softs as well. So I don't know if the weather is at play, but certainly looks like a few split strategies so far. If you can pick up anyone else, awesome dude. I don't believe he's on a lap. Indeed not. And Sway looks like he's just starting his. So we'll go back with Sygate. We picked up earlier as he navigates the McLaren of Timo. And down to first gear even, you can see the full traction at work. Maybe even medium traction, I could be wrong. But certainly flat to the mat as he navigates these final few corners, does Sygate. Nice and clean, runs it wide on exit, just avoids the grass. Can he avoid an invalidation as well as he comes across the line? It is an improvement, but it is not enough to lift him a bit further up the field. That's exactly what Yarm has done. He's done a 19.5 and he gets himself up to 7th place. And then Mark Demand, bare lap for Mark Demand, 19.2, but of course he is on mediums. So we're going to see some of these times get to fly a little bit more. There's a Renault starting a lap. Was that Ali's on the hard? So he's sticking this one out long. PFC Steve, is he just starting a lap then? 2 tenths up, so he could be going for provisional pole here. And he does, and he does so convincingly, of course, on those soft compound tyres. 18.7 for PFC Steve, and he moves into provisional pole position. There is a McLaren coming through, and that is of Sway. He's still on the hards. And he dives into the pits then, and there's a Toro Rosso behind him, and he's also diving into the pits. So So you could pick up anyone on a flying lap. See if AMG is he on a flying lap? No, he must have validated because these are on an out lap at the very least. Ali, same story. There's a Haas on not a lap, of course. Let's just see if you can pick up anyone. Yarm, of course, we just saw. Is he going back to back? Might be. He's certainly using the majority of his ERS, and let's see what he does as a follow-up. It's at 19.2, and he narrowly misses out on the top 5, but he is on the hard, so that bodes well for Yarm. Close then to Ali, who is the quickest man on the third quickest then on the old hards. Let's see if Mark the man needs to come in. So everyone's coming in just under 6 minutes left. Kind of the hard runners are, they've extended their stints and they're winding down. Some guys out on the medium, some guys chill on the old softs as well. There's the other Stevie G, and he goes provisional at 18.7 on a set of mediums, and that is a bit more like it. That's a good lap from Stevie G. That's very good. See how that holds up on a set of mediums. Might be thinking twice maybe about putting on a set of softs if that grid position can hold. But we'll see how many people do elect to stick on those softs as an in lap. I'm sure, no, an out lap rather, for Alibaba. He's got a Renault behind him, which will be Tom Pretty, who's also gearing himself up for a lap. So it's a track where kind of there's not a ton of places you can invalidate, but it does happen as Thomas is out of this session. Mercedes, he's also coming out of turn 4, which is a strange one. Unless he's had a collision with another car. That's an interesting place to DNF, but that's where he has. As Tom Pretty then heads into the first couple. I actually think there's another car on the lap. No, it's actually coming into the lap is AMG. I thought he may be on a lap on those softs, but that wasn't to be. So go back on board with Tom Pretty as he negotiates the long turn 4. The traffic in front of him. See Timo just there on the mini-map in McLaren, just beginning his lap on mediums as we tick to about 4 minutes. And you have to say it's anyone's guess for pole position at the moment. It is up for grabs. So who is going to take it? More and more people putting on those softs. And a few people left on the mediums to burn as well. Let's see what Tom Pretty can do though, as he is in overtake mode through this kind of slower sector 3, which is an interesting call. He's going to run out of ERS near the end if he isn't boxing this lap. We'll see, but there's certainly an interesting choice. Nicely done through the chicane. So he's going to finish his lap, but he's going to fall short on the ERS, so he's going to lose a little bit of the potential time he could be gaining, but it looks like it could be very good indeed. It's an 18.8 for Tom Pretty. He vaults himself up into 3rd place. That's a good lap from him, but the cavalry are coming. More and more cars begin to creep their way onto the track as the session begins to wind down. We're just over 3 minutes still to go, and Timo's up by 3/10, of course, on those mediums. At the moment, that wouldn't really do much to get into the top 5, so let's see what kind of pace he's got left in this final sector, if there's anything to find. See if he can get himself into the conversation here. Oh, back end, want to step out just a little bit. He will have lost a little bit of time because of that. But let's see then what he can do. It is enough to get him into the top 5 exactly, a 19.1 for Timo. But let's see if Stevie G then can he further improve. He can, an 18.5 on mediums for Stevie G. He extends his lead provisionally for pole position. The two Renaults negotiating traffic, so in the form of each other. So is Ali trying to get back? No, he's about to start a lap, and I wonder if they're going to slipstream each other here. That'll be interesting. See what they're doing. Okay, Tom Pretty is coming to the pits. That'll be why, but Ali's got a good chance. He was the fastest of the guys who set a lap time on the hard, so let's see what he can do on a set of meters as he charges down towards turn 1. Always difficult when there's a car is coming out of the pits, just as AMG was there, because it's just unsighted, it's distracting just that little bit. And it can put you off heading into your braking zone, but Ali's done well to negotiate that, and he is at the moment a 10th up on his current times. This is good stuff already. 18s will get you pretty much into the top 5. And more traffic in front, and this is not what you need on your flying lap, because there's nothing more distracting than multiple cars like this in front of Ali here to try and negotiate when you're doing your lap. And even they get out of the way just like that, like Mark Demand did. They're always just conscious of it, and you just want them to get out as fast as possible, especially coming into the slower parts of the track here. So Sygate and Ali's actually disconnected, so now we'll never know. That's a shame. He was looking very good. He's only got a minute or two to actually get back into the session. And that's it for Stevie G. He's going to be starting this race on mediums, and Sway has had it as well. Oh, he's lost it coming out of turn 9. That is where he has lost it. So I'm losing my bearings here. So 50 seconds left. Is there anyone on the flying lap at the moment? Sygate is starting his lap. I think we're all just starting laps, really, aren't we? And Ali does get back in, but sadly he won't be getting back out again. Awesome dude, he's just starting a lap as well, and Unsafe Leads is starting a lap as well. Okay, so who's the furthest forward starting on a lap? So it's Timo. Timo's going to be the first one here to cross the line with the checkered flag, because by the time the rest of the pack get there, that is going to be that. So a second lap here for Timo on these mediums. He's racking up the wear a little bit on these. 3 drivers on softs out on track, but we'll see how they get on. For now, arguably the most beautiful helmet in the land. It's Timo. Get out of the final corner then. Can he consolidate his place in the top 5? It's an 18.5. He's narrowly missed out on pole position, but he's on the front row. But for how long? Here is Yaron, one of the quicker drivers on the hards, with a tank slapper and a half coming out of the final 2 corners. Let's see then. And he gets himself up to 3rd place. PFC Steve goes quickest as he gets himself onto provisional pole. Adi Baba then, he goes 2nd. I'm trying to keep up here, my apologies. Sygate goes up to 4th. Where's Mark Demand? There he is. I want to get on board with, but he's not looking particularly quick at the moment. Is this going to be enough for the top 5? Absolutely not. He stays in 10th. And awesome dude, 17.7. He jumps up to pole position. Unsafe Release will be next, and then F1 AMG has come into the pits, I believe. So that is your lot for qualifying. So in the end, 3 soft runners, they've all got themselves into the top 5, and we've got 2 of them on the front row. So they did what they had to do. But for, I think it was Sygate in 5th, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. We'll go through those runnings and work it out from there. So Awesome Dude is on pole position ahead of PFC Steve in 2nd. Alibaba then, you can say that's the false pole position of the medium runners. Stevie G in 4th, Sygate then in 5th, Timo in 6th. Yaron be disappointed not to be a little bit further up in 7th, Tom Pritchie 8th, AMG 9th, and Unsafe Release rounds out the top 10. So unfortunate for Ali, didn't get a time when he's in 11th, Mark Demand 12th, Thomas 13th, Sway 14th, Ripper Rick in 15th, and we'll have Chubbs and Wesker starting from the back. An interesting race in prospect. Let's see what we've got then for the conditions, which I'm assuming are dry. Is it sunny? It's a little overcast. Maybe some rain to come. Maybe that's why some people have gone softs. Maybe it's coming sooner. We'll kind of get an indication of what people choose from outside the top 10. Because this is a good track to go along on the hards. And if no one is choosing hards outside the top 10, that will be a little bit suspicious. But we'll see. We'll see what this race holds. Of course, safety cars could be a feature as well. That would be helpful for the guys who started on the softs, or anyone who plans to start on the softs from outside the top 10. Would certainly help, and we've seen a few of them of late, of course. So 2 and 1, and that is it for people choosing their strategies and fixing their setups. So I lost game sound for a sec. So what have we got then? Right, so AMG was on softs. Best time was to call us softs, so that's interesting. Maybe a banker. Weird. 4 people on softs then, inside the top 10. And then Ali, Mark Demand, Thomas, and so I might just miss that. Thomas, Mark Demand, and Ali, and then Sway on mediums, Ripperick, Chubbs, and Wesker on the hard compound tyres. So, excuse me, they like to go long. Let's see what the story is. But yeah, foremost, I didn't realise that AMG's top time was on the softs apparently. I don't think there's any grid penalties, so an interesting spot here for Ali and Mark Demand. They are, of course, the I think they've definitely got a bit more pace than their position certainly indicates, and obviously they have the option of a fresh set of mediums from outside the top 10, whereas someone like Timo, for example, has put 2 or 3 laps already on his mediums. So, you know, could play all the difference at a track that has historically been pretty tough on tyres at times. Of course, this is one of the few tracks back a few years ago that had the hard compound tyre, the orange marked hard compound tyre from 2016 and the like. So this track can be tough, and if you're on these softs, it's going to be that much tougher. Do we need the full track map? We'll go mini map for now. They're all close together. So a Toro Rosso front row lockout, both on the softs. I wonder if there'll be any gamesmanship, so to speak, and well, how far can they keep the pack behind, and for how long? Can Saigate make up any positions off the start? And what about AMG on his TMC debut on the softs? He'll be wanting to. He's already disadvantaged with that tyre in the race, but can he make up a few positions off the line to try and make something out of what I would call very little? So a long run down to turn 1. We shall see what it holds. We'll stick with Adi Baba then. Here we go then, round 5 of Division 2. 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like PFCC's got the much better start. Not sure if Osmond would have been delayed, but they're away, and PFCC is already up into first place. CVG trying to challenge Osmond heading down to turn 1. Oh, there's a unsafe release. Absolutely steaming in there. There's absolutely carnage everywhere. Timo's been picked up. Oh, there's been an absolute carnage, and the safety car is out. So no surprises after that absolute. I'm not sure if unsafely just cooked his braking zone or what, but absolute carnage. Let's see if you can see who's. So let's just quickly see the position changes. So Saigate's lost positions. He's got a front wing. His wing looks fine. I know Timo's definitely involved in that. Is it McLaren? Have both McLarens got wing damage? Certainly Timo has. Looks like Sway is intact. I saw Renault get mixed up there as well. Let's just check Ali. He is fine. Tom Pretty, was he as lucky? I definitely saw a Renault somewhere about. No, he did not come away unscathed. He has got wing damage. So let's just see if anyone else. So basically from 4th to 5th backwards then. Stevie G looks like he's fine. Yarm looks like he survived as well. AMG. So we'll see then who pops into the pits this lap then. So already, I wonder if these guys will actually bail on these softs. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to do so, but again, if you do, then what was the point on qualifying softs in the first place? So PFCC will stay out. Austin will stay out. Let's see then. Can we actually get a better camera angle of going last course? So AMG is coming into the pits. I think a wise move from him. So who is in? So Tom is in on safe releases in. Saigate. Let's just with the field filter through. So AMG, Tom Pretty, unsafe release, Saigate, Timo, Mark Demand, Ripper Rick, Wesker, they are all in. And nose changes going. No nose change here for Mark Demand. It just looks like strategy. I wonder if Wesker will do the same. Just these guys just stick on the medium tyres. Oh, fresh wing for, or sorry, Ripper Rick rather. Sorry, Wesker has to queue behind. Obviously we knew Timo had to make a wing change. This doesn't really affect Wesker too much, to be honest, because he can just rejoin the back of the pack, and it's a wing for him as well. So both Williams have to change their wings. Timo had to change his wing. Unsafely, so definitely have to change his wing. So there is the situation. So a lot of people taking the opportunity to bolt onto a set of the hard compound tyres, and yeah, I think everyone had damage except for Mark Demand here. They decided to come into the pits and change his strategy. So Ali then is basically where Mark Demand was before, basically, and he's in 7th. So now Steve and Austin are the only ones who've staying on those softs. I'm surprised they didn't come in, but AMG still in the top 10 is AMG despite his coming in to ditch those softs. I don't think he had wing damage, so he's taken the opportunity to change his strategy about as well. But of course, this does mean that obviously, this doesn't nail them down for the rest of the race. They will have to make a stop again. Those hards won't go to the end, so the strategy still out there. As is the safety car, which will stay for another lap at the very least. So as the rest of the pack get caught up, of course Wesker is the furthest to chase, because obviously he was stacked behind his teammate for the night, Ripper Rick. So yeah, drivers trying to keep the tyres warm. The hards might be a little cool, so I'm looking at Captain Chubbs here in 9th, who is up from, he's up a good bit, isn't he? I get those two mixed up. So up from 16th then is Chubbs, Sway up from 14th there, so you see everyone from F1 AMG downwards has made a pit stop, but jumped up a good bit there has Chubbs, but he could be vulnerable to AMG on the restart, as the likes of Unsafe Release and Timo as well, who are on the hards. They've obviously got medium runners behind them. So we'll see what happens there. I imagine the safety car will be in this lap 3 of 33. Yeah, and I'll see what the story is between PFC Steve and Austin and how this strategy winds up, because yeah, obviously they made the decision to lock out the front row, go as quick as they could for the soft compound tires. This safety car would have been a huge detriment to them. But we'll see how it pans out. It's interesting that both of them decided to stay out rather than... We would have thought perhaps maybe one of them might have pivoted. And if I was on the sauce, I probably would have. Is in this lap, because at the very... AMG was on sauce as well, and he's still here in 10th. And on the same compound tires as everyone else. So he's in a good shout here to kind of get a good result here. But, yes, this is a very dangerous part of the race if you're behind the wheel, because people can't always drive behind the safety car. So... very frequently at this point as well, PHC becomes the de facto pace car as you let it get away. You see incidents and wings fly off and such. But we are about to restart here in Spain. It'll be lap 4 when we get going, and PFC Steve has bolted away, and he's actually got a good head start. Of course, the no safety car line, you are allowed to overtake once you reach the start-finish straight. So here we go then, a good restart for PFC Steve. He is comfortably led his teammate away. Adibaba's not too close either, but who is close, you can see Thomas there side by side with Yaram. Yaram will have the inside. Sorry, that's I'm getting my racing points mixed up. You can see, CVG still battling away, but Thomas is through then ahead of Yaram, so he splits the racing points as they head down towards turn 4. Nothing else really changing from that restart, so good restart from PFCCP. Is 1.6 seconds clear of his teammate, and of course a countdown begins then before the DRS is enabled, and AMG wasn't able to get by Chubbs, but I think he might have to get by that Alfa Romeo quite quickly, otherwise he risks the prospect of Sway running away from Chubbs and pulling out of that DRS range, which would be the last thing that AMG would need. As they head down towards turn 10, nothing really pressing at the moment in terms of overtakes. Everyone just kind of keeping nice and steady as they were. The only change looks like that Thomas was able to get through on Yaram. Of course, Yaram could do with a good set of points tonight with Joe Corby not being out at this race. He's of course the title leader at the moment, but as they head through to complete lap 4, it's a 1.8 second gap for PFC Steve. He leads the way. 5/10 behind that is Adibaba, and anything shaping up down here. AMG was looking like he was going to make a move, and Timo has got by Unsafe Release, who seemed to make that quite easy for him in the end. So he's up into P13, so good charge from him then. None of the guys on the mediums, of course, have made much inroads yet. Mark the man a little bit further back than I was expecting to see him. He's obviously had a mistake somewhere. Has he got wing damage? No, so somewhere along the road something's happened to him, and he is behind. See Captain Chubbs here locking up his brake, so confirming that he's using no ABS, which is good to see. Of course, a good reason why obviously the likes of Wesker are obviously not making strides through the field as he normally would. But let's see, this is important for AMG to get by this Alfa as quickly as he can. He's got a good run. He's got to go for it. He's in overtake mode. He's going to go down the inside into turn 10. And that was an important move for AMG to make it. He's got that done, and now he can try and stick on the back of Sway. Just climb back. He is within DRS, but he's kind of on that periphery, so he can get back a little bit further forward. But that was an important move for him to make, and I believe the DRS will be enabled on this lap as PFC Steve crosses the line and is 1.7 seconds ahead. Yes, DRS is enabled. Danny Baba's almost out of that DRS range, so that'll be bad news for him because Stevie G is right on his tail. And if you don't have DRS in front of you, then, or off the car in front of you, then you are in trouble. You definitely are in trouble. As yeah, it looks like he's definitely pulled away a little bit now. Is awesome, dude. Let's see the softs, how long they last. We'll find out as I think that was Thomas going quite wide there. Tom Pretty getting close to the back of Sygate. Guess that's no overtakes are imminent, but of course we'll have DRS for the first time heading down this back straight. So it's a short enough straight though. It's kind of, you need a good run out of turn 9 or to be on a different tyre compound, to make that happen, or just carrying significantly less downforce to try and make an overtake heading down towards this turn 10, because again it's not the longest straight. And we'll see if anything is possible. Nothing for the moment. Will Tom Pretty have a look himself? No, he doesn't. It's just not long enough to do so. He's over the back of that Mercedes. He needs to get that move done quickly if he wants to try and keep pace with the guys pulling away. You can see Chubbs there, and the field, so to speak, is basically what that group is in front of Chubbs and the such, and don't be falling too far behind that as Tom Pretty is at the moment. And Adi Baba did get back within DRS of Awesome Dude. He seemed to make a mistake somewhere along the way. Any moves in that AMG's got by Sway quite early on the straight actually as well. Tom Pretty looks like he's going to try and go around the outside. Can he get this move done? Oh, there's contact and he is round. Can Timo avoid it? He can. And thankfully he goes so everyone else can get through okay. But that was, yeah, always risky run through turn 1 and 2 there. Like that, especially if you're on the outside. Contact is always a possibility, and Tom Pretty there, the big loser there this time around. We'll see if he's the only one that falls victim to that, but Awesome Dude had like 1.2 seconds on Adi Baba before the start of that last lap, that first lap where DRS was enabled, but he ended up almost being 4/10. That was all the gap was basically by the end of it. So, it lost a lot of time on that lap, did Awesome Dude, but didn't really lose a lot of time really to PFC either. So just showing the drop off of the softs, getting a little bit closer, and this would be the time getting close now where well, just a safety car again here wouldn't really help the guys on softs. It's when the Awesome Dude is coming into the pit, so he's pulling in early then, or rather the first of the Toro Rossos to pull in. But when the pit stops start coming in, we'll see what the story is as AMG sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's going by Ali as well. His pace has been very good, and he is continuing his climb. He's up into P6. Anything else doing on this main straight? Got that's Wesker rather pulling over to the right hand side. Can he get the car slowed down? Ooh, goes across the grass and unsafely is able to take that position back. So, but Sway and Ali then side by side into turn 3. Sway not on the best line there, and Ali gets through. So Sway falling down the position just a little bit, and Chubbs then he's out of DRS for the time being. But if Sway is struggling for pace, then this is Chubbs' ticket to get back into it, as we got a nice little group here between Adi Baba, Stevie G, Thomas, Yarm, F1 AMG, Ali, Sway's here, as well as Yarm looks to have a little sniff down towards turn 10, but he can't get the move done. And of course these guys will be out for the foreseeable future as well, so all to play for. This is basically, I'm not sure obviously with the softs how it's going to work, but I'm assuming that this race is going to be from our actual race leader as PFCC Pits is Adi Baba, and the group behind him, this is the group we're going to be seeing who are contending for this win today. Anyone looking like they're getting close to making an overtake? Of course everyone's got DRS with the exception of Adibaba, and CVG is closing in. He will go down the inside. The door is closed. It's not enough straight that time round for CVG to get the move done, but good pressure behind as well. You can see they're dropping Chubbs 2.3 seconds. Of course, you'd expect that on the hard. So Chubbs just needs to stay as close as he can to this group and not fall too far away, because the advantage will swing back to him later on the medium. So for now, he just has to minimise the time he is losing as a yellow flag in sector 1. That is Tom Pretty. He of course was at the back anyways, and I wonder if he'll call it quits for this one. Gets back onto the track, but so where did they rejoin? And they rejoined right next to each other. Did Austin Dude and PFC Steve? In fact, Austin Dude's actually jumped. Yeah, see Adibaba. That's Tom Pretty retiring from this race. And there it is then, our first retirement of the day. So Austin Dude then he got ahead, and PFC Steve actually gone to the hard. So Austin Dude's gone to mediums, PFC Steve has gone to the hard. So split strategies then, as Thomas comes into the pits then on lap 8 on those mediums, and he's the only one of that group to do so. That's interesting, as F1 AMG Yarm goes defensive. There they are, side by side. Who's going to hold this? Outside becomes the inside for turn 2, and a F1 AMG is through. So Thomason, a bit of an early stop on those mediums. No one else bit that lap anyways, as he is behind Awesome Dude. Yeah, he's going to be behind the Toro Rosso pair, and you can see him just coming out onto the map there. He's going to feed into a little bit of traffic. He's on the hard compound tyres as well, so going extra long in this one. Mark Demand's back into the pits, having pitted not that long ago himself, so kind of all falling apart here for Mark Demand so far in this race. But of course the safety car could change that. He's back onto the back onto his hard compound tyres, it looks like, and he continues on his merry way, but he is very much out of things as it stands. Oh, and he's gone off. Has he gone into the wall? No, it looks like he's avoided damage, but maybe lost the back end there. Coming out of turn 10 can be a tricky one, but he's lost a bit of ground. He hasn't lost he's lost obviously positions, but he's lost one to Chubbs there as well. But as here we go, then Yarm is into the pits then as well. So a couple more people biting as AMG goes quickest once again, and CVG again closing up to the back of Adibaba. Not enough straight this time around to do it. Timo's getting close to the back of Saigate. We'll go on board with this. Saigate tries to go defensive. Timo, can he... Oh, beautiful camera angle. Can he run around the outside, and can he get that done? He looks like he has. It's a good move from him. And let's see then, has Thomas... There is Thomas ahead of Yarm. So, of course, as it was before the pit stops. So, let's see then, because they're all feeding into traffic, so they're losing a little bit of time. So maybe these guys might be better off extending a little bit on the stint, because they're all going to filter out into that. Maybe Awesome Dude, maybe PFC Steve is the one that isn't as far out of the equation here as certainly not at the moment. Maybe later in the race when the tyre wear racks up a bit, that could be the case, but at the moment he looks like he's still going to be there. Awesome Dude has got to make another stop for sure. He won't get those to the end. But let's see then what happens on lap 11. Laps do fly by here, to be fair. See if anyone is pitting this lap. Adibaba stays out, but Stevie G comes in, and F1 AMG stays out as well. And Chubbs got himself a 3-second penalty. That's not great. This track, you don't see too many penalties, but Chubbs has managed to pick one up. As yeah, away they go. So we'll stick with CVG as he comes into the pits. You can see the group there. There is. You can see there's Thomas and Yarm. Beautiful shot looking down onto the main straight. You should see the racing point then. And he's actually cleared them, hasn't he? He's split the Toro Rossos. He has. So that, I think that is Stevie G. Oh, they're going to be side by side. Beautifully done not to make contact, but yeah, good stuff there. So CVG then is ahead of PFC Steve, and that wasn't the case before the stop. So he's going for the move though. Risky. A risky one. Can he hold it? So CVG looks like he has survived, but tell you what, PFC Steve is not going to let this go without a fight. This is good to see. He's the meat in a Racing Point sandwich at the moment. Thomas just behind that as well. Further at the front, less than a second between Adibaba and F1 AMG. Will any of these guys pit this lap? Adibaba is in, but AMG will stay out. And his pace has been good, to be fair, so as perhaps is not surprising. Does a 21, so he's barely he's just shy of his personal best. So he's got the pace, so may as well stick it out as these guys continue to now to group up, so to speak. As yeah, very interesting race unfolding here in Spain. CVG's got a bit more breathing room this time round. Looks like it's going to be his teammates going to be doing the attack in this lap. Of course, they will have DRS. Adibaba, you can see there, just coming out in front of this group. Side by side with Stevie G as they head into turn 1. Stevie G pulls through. So he is ahead of Adibaba, who slots in front of PFC Steve, Yaram, and then Thomas. So this is a great scrap here. This is going to be, oh, this is exciting stuff. Now, usually what happens in these groups is someone ends up colliding with each other, and that takes a few of them out. But at the moment, this is fantastic stuff here, as you can see Yaram and PFC Steve side by side. Oh, PFC Steve going into the line a little bit, but holds on to that P13. Of course, this is basically for this is the victory and podium positions up for grabs here. This is what these cars are fighting for. Of course, when F1 AMG comes out, when he makes a stop, it's the same story. This is all what they're fighting for. No one close enough to make a move heading down towards turn 2. Now Yarm is close, but PFC Steve goes defensive. And let's see if F1 AMG, look at that, he's still going quicker. So he set his fastest lap of the race on 12 lap old medium, so he's got very good pace indeed. Too quick for Division 2? Well, we'll find out with the margin, but let's see who can move the needle here, because I think Yarm could have a good chance to get by PFC Steve. They're all in that kind of DRS train. It's all kind of 6, 8, 10s kind of range, but you get back here and it's a little bit closer. Overtake mode enabled. PFC Steve goes defensive. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move this time around, as he compromised himself a little bit to turns 2 and 3. Yarm desperately looking for a way around, and the more PFC Steve squabbles, the more distance he puts himself between himself and Adibaba, and it's perilously close to that DRS range where Steve would no longer have it on Adibaba in front of him, and that is what it is hit. Oh, and Yarm did so well not to hit into the back of PFC Steve and damage his wing. But actually, a little bit of action going on the front here. Further up, these guys have yet to make their stops. You got Timo, Yaram, and Wesker, and Psychic goes down the inside of Timo with a contact. But Timo holds on for the time being. Again, no one's close enough to make a move down to this turn 10 corner, and F1 AMG carries on, but 7/10 slower that lap as Sway comes into the pits then. So I think maybe those mediums might have dropped off their best. Let's see if Saige can have another go. Timo's, is he far enough forward? Wesker's not too far either. That's a all pass Sway, and Saige gets close. How close? It's not close enough this time around. And anyone looking to make an overtake here? Awesome Dude and CVG squabbling away. I think that's Awesome Dude ahead of Stevie G now, but Stevie G's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, that was very, very close to contact. Can he still hold it around the outside? Turn 4 is a difficult ask. He's gone a bit deep as Awesome Dude trying to cover that line. Of course, but he has the inside for turn 5. A bit more contact. These Tauroses are extra feisty today, and that has brought Adibaba right into the equation as well. Still out of a second range. I think Yarm's been held up there by PFC Steve, and this group is getting away a little bit, but this squabbling will certainly help them pull back through as the CVG goes quite wide. He's got a good run. Will he go for the move? Not on this occasion. Yarm is close as well, but he won't go for the move either. So this is good stuff, I have to say. I wonder, I don't think he's pitted, has he? So F1 AMG, he may be undercut at this rate, but he will have significantly fresher tyres. And I tell you what, Sway's not too far behind either in this group, and such has been the squabbling. He's on 5 lap fresher tyres than most of this group here, with the exception of Yarm, and he's only 1.5 seconds behind and gaining as well with each passing lap as these guys spend behind each other. So Sway bring himself into the equation here somewhat. As we begin to enter the second phase of this race, we're almost a halfway distance. You can see the gap to the leader, there it is. So 25 seconds basically covering F1 AMG from this very tight group here. As Cyclist has lost a little bit of ground on his battle with Timo, but Wesker is coming a bit closer and being unsafe release with him. But the battle really is here. For at the moment P9, but this is really going to end up for podium positions and possibly the win as well. See how close Yarm is to Steve, how does his run out of turn 9. It's not bad, but when another car in front of you has got DRS as well, that does make it difficult to try and make a move heading down towards turn 10. Thomas has to get out of the way there to try and avoid that. That and the F1 AMG still carrying on. 11 seconds clear of Chubbs and company as they file through the final chicane. Excuse me. See if anyone. I say Stevie G is close. He's got a good opportunity to make this move, and Austin doesn't really fight it. Yeah, straight down the inside. Easy stuff for Stevie G. He'll be able to keep this one, and Ripper Rick is through on unsafe release. And Yarm still behind PFCC, but of course they have now closed that gap. And Austin Dude, will he try and make a comeback? He's got good ERS, to be fair. Certainly compared to that racing point in front of him, but again, nothing really doing, and you know, there's no penalties really here to bail, you know, anyone out here. So it's going to be done, you'd imagine, on track. And again, as Mark demands now, if the safety car were to come out now, this would be pretty disastrous for all these guys. It would really shake up the race. Not that it really needs shaking up, to be honest, because this is already good stuff. Mark Deman's actually retired on the track, so I wonder if how, as F1 AMG pits, and that's a sensible decision, just in case a safety car did come out, and he's pretty much close to his window anyway, so that's a good call from him. But I don't think that safety car is coming. It's parked on the he's parked around turn 3, and it is clear, so no safety car then. Hard tyres for F1 AMG. Ripper Rick is in as well now. Where is he in comparison to everyone else then? Here he comes in, he comes out of the pits. Looks like he's going to be in front of Wesker. Will he make it round? He does. So F1 AMG's actually got a good bit of space between himself and, well, not a good bit of space, but he's got a little bit of space between himself and the rest of the group, as Austin to try and take Stevie G. Trying to hold it as well. Stevie G can't get through, so yeah, I guess with the squabbling and all that kind of business, it has lifted F1 AMG clear of this group, and now he is in direct position to win this race. Of course, Awesome Dude is on mediums. It should be noted that, obviously we've talked about it as well, but he is on mediums. Everyone else here is on hard, so these guys can go to the end, whereas Awesome Dude, he's going to have to pit again. I don't think he'll get those mediums to the end. No, he definitely, well, no, he won't get this to the end. So it just comes down to choice ultimately at the end of the day. You know, F1 AMG came in, he started on softs, pitted during that safety car, came out in 10th on the hards. PFC Steve and Also Dude, they didn't pit on the softs, they stayed out. Also Dude here is on mediums, and yes, he's kind of further forward than the majority of this gaggle, but he's got to pit again. PFC Steve is still in a good spot here to try and get something decent out of this race, despite starting on those softs. Just want to see if there's anything doing up at the front. But speaking of anything doing, Stevie G is through on Awesome Dude, who I think will begin to slide a little further backwards as the life of those mediums racks up. But I wonder if he'll end up doing softs to finish this race. But F1 AMG is continuing his well, just has to not really get involved in any unnecessary incidents as Alibaba. So, oh, it's wing damage as Yarm, isn't it? I think that is TMC Yarm. No, it isn't. Someone's got wing damage though of that group. I'm not sure who it is, but I saw a piece of wing absolutely fly. I think it's Awesome Dude actually, who's yeah, he's back here. So I wonder if Alibaba created the contact and then not sure what happened, but that's unfortunate. Sorry to miss that, but like I said, that's what happens. Some people collide and then that just drops people out of the equation. But to be fair, Austin Dude had to pitch anyway, so if there was anyone to lose from this kind of battle, you know, Austin Dude had to pit again. Alibaba is going to come into the pits himself, and Thomas then looks like he's going to come past PFC Steve as well. So this is the shake up this race, so it's going to be getting a bit of ghosting action going on there, to be fair. Well, let's say PFC Steve, he's going to keep PA for the time being. So I want to check. Yeah, new nose going on to that. So I'm guessing then that Alibaba hit the back of Awesome Dude, and Nash sent Awesome Dude round, and then I think someone may have hit into him. Well, I'm not sure, but definitely shakes up this race in terms of the podium positions, because of course I think F1 AMG is going to have this one wrapped up. So it's also given Stevie G a 2.3 second buffer to PFC Steve, and then Thomas, Yarm and Sway as well. They're all around that area, so a firm grip on second place for Stevie G, and third place then, this is what this fight is, I suppose, as Thomas, good luck trying to go around the outside of that. Medium tyres for Alibaba and Awesome Dude, so that will go to the end of this race. Ali is finally into the pits, so that will release Captain Chubbs, who will be pitting not too long from now. Just to see what he can do. Unsafe release into the pits as well on his hard, so it's been a good race. Safety car now wouldn't really change a ton. No one really looking to make a move heading down towards turn 1. So that's yeah, see, that's what usually happens, is that people get close and then an accident happens that takes people apart. We've still got some close racing here. Ali on the softs, and he's 6 seconds behind Sway on hards, and these guys are double digits into their stints on these hards. That could be interesting. Ali could be one to watch here. Has he made... he's done one stop, so he did mediums to softs. That's an interesting one. See if it pays off for him. If he can get himself closer into this podium hunt. Of course, he lost the back end coming out of turn 10, I think it was, and that's what kind of pushed him down in the first place. If he hadn't done that, he'd be right here. Oh, and Thomas going down the inside on PFC Steve. That's a bold one. A contact is made, but thankfully no one was round, no one with wing damage, and we can just carry on our merry way. We're going to see, I think, a position change. We're going to stick with this just for a sec, as F1 AMG will get up into P2. And he makes this move on Timo, who doesn't really fight it, and there you go, he's into second place. And look at this, Thompson again attacking PFC Steve, and this time around should make this much easier than last time. Well, he's giving little nudges there, as a Yarn getting closer as well. So move done then for Thomas, and as these guys are squabbling, as CVG gets by Sygate there, Ali is closing up quickly, as you would expect on those soft compound tyres, and see there PFC is going wide. So I wonder if he's just struggling a little bit. I wonder if he's got damage of some sort, even if it's not visual. I wonder if he's carrying something. But yeah, Ali's really close up now. It really depends on how he's obviously he's going to be taking those softs 10 plus laps, so he might catch up, but can he hold anything? Any position he gains is the question, but still plenty of squabbling to be done here. So at the moment, I believe it's AMG, Thomas, and Stevie G who are occupying the podium spot. None with penalties. The only person I've seen get a track extending penalty is Chubbs, who's into the pits now. I think Unsafe Release just may have got one as well. But it's time, and PFC does come into the pits, and I do wonder. I'm wondering if he has wing damage. Let's find out, but he's definitely coming in. Gets himself slowed down in time, in good time as well. Ali sets the fastest lap of the race as he continues his charge. I wonder if there was wing damage here as well. Nothing doing, just a stop for softs then. Now of course he would have been in earlier than you know, the likes of, you know, Thomas and as such, but not Thomas, but like, you know, yeah, like those guys basically who started on mediums, and of course PFTC started on the hard, so they've gone for the two stop in the end. And yeah, now that they've kind of made that second stop, I know Austin was caught in an incident as well, but now that they've made that second stop, um, they would have been better off doing what AMG did and pitching under the safety car, you know, P10, 11, 12 at worst on whatever tyre you come out on, and you know, could go from there. They could easily be in this conversation right now. Well, more so PT Steve, because of course Austin Dude nailed his colours, two-stop colours to the mast when he pitted for mediums under the when he made his stop. But yeah, race is kind of quieting down just a bit now as we head into the well, 10 laps could the winner on, I believe AMG just started it. He is of course leading the way 2.4 seconds ahead of Timo, who is yet to make a stop, or rather has made a stop, but of course made it onto the safety car as Sway looking to go down the inside on Yaram. Of course Sway's got 4 lap pressure hards, and now Sway is through. So Sway moves into the top 6 then, and you know, he's got 5 lap pressure tyres than Thomas in front of him. He could by the end of this race be closing that down too, and that will be for a podium at the end of the day. As we got, I think Alibaba has made a mistake somewhere because Steve is through and is almost a second clear already. So having of course stopped for softs compared to Alibaba's medium. So Sway could be looking at a podium here, but he's going to have to overtake Thomas to get that done. We'll see what happens there as Ali continues to close under 2 seconds now for that round, but with each passing lap comes increasing tyre wear and difficulties later on in this race. As meanwhile, the best thing Saige could do is get promptly out of his teammates' way, because that is bringing Sway closer and closer. And will he get within DRS now as well? He's very, very close. And Saige hasn't certainly helped his teammate, and going defensive as well, really not helping his teammate. Or maybe even just, yeah, well, you can say going defensive, as Yaram though takes the position back on Sway and halts that charge for the time being. So Sway then will have to get by that racing point once again as PFCC sets the fastest lap of the race, but of course outside the top 10, so no extra point going for that. Not yet anyways. Of course a couple of people still yet to pitch, but we'll see where they end up. Of course I'm talking about Saigate, and I'm talking about Timo, who have still yet to make their second stops, and I assume they'll make a second stop as now CVG is getting within DRS range of Timo. To be fair to Timo, he's got a choice here. If his tyre wear is not too bad, and if he feels he can stretch this out, then he may as well stay out, because if he pits now, he's going to be outside the top 10. Now, he'd be on a nice set of softs, but he's got more to gain by staying out than he does pit when he pits, if he pits. So I do wonder, because we are ticking down here. It is the final 8 laps or so. It would be, look, to get a set of hards 30 odd laps, you're asking a lot. Same as you're asking a lot of Yaram to keep this position. And now Ali is right here as well. You can see they're all closing up to the back of Sidegate, and this is important. These are important laps for Thomas, because these guys are squabbling. Sidegate's yet to pit, of course, and then Ali is behind here on soft as well. So this is the margin that Thomas needs to try and escape with that final podium spot. And Chubbs, he won't be in contention here on mediums here, but certainly getting closer and closer. And CVG will be getting by Timo fairly soon as well. So Sway couldn't get that move done on Saigate, or Yaram rather, and that's because Saigate had obviously giving Yaram DRS as well as Timo then allows CVG through. And Yaram, he was thinking about it, wasn't he? And Sway almost runs into the back of him. He's thinking about a move on Saigate, and now they're 2 seconds behind Thomas, so this is good stuff. And Ali is let go by Sway. That's an interesting choice. He seems to let him go. So what that looked like as Timo comes into the pits then. So Yeah, 30 laps would have been tough to ask on a set of hards. So I'm not sure why Sway let Ali go. Maybe just for the sake of, maybe he thinks that Ali will come back to him later on, as a Yarm attacks Sygate then from the point of view of Ali, and he is through. Maybe he's hoping that as another car maybe gets into the mix, maybe an accident happens in front and he can get some positions back that way. But an interesting choice there from Sway. Sygate goes defensive. Ali has to go around the outside of turn 4. Can't get it done, and Sway watches with interest. Ooh, back end slapping away there for Sway. He caught it. But now again, these are big for Ali and Sway to get by Sygate as quick as possible. You've seen Thomas run up the road basically, and Yarm is doing the same thing as well. So the big costly thing here, I think, was Sway getting overtaken by Yarm in the first place, and then that kind of disrupted their charge on the two Mercedes. And now Ali is through on Sygate, and Sway needs to follow through quickly as well. If he does, then won't have lost too much, but it's kind of, it could be him that is passed instead of Ali, but he let Ali go. Just a strange part of that. So I'm not sure the thinking there, because he's already out of DRS. So yeah, Sygate's not made life very easy for these guys. So that's kind of created a lot of separation now, and we're basically looking at, I'd be surprised if the order changes too much inside the top 6 at this rate. The only thing I could see changing is Sway getting back past Ali when those softs kind of die down. But look at that, like, I think, what was it, Sway was like 1 point something behind Thomas, and now that's nearly 5 seconds now basically, all because of just timing and overtaking and kind of stuck in the wrong places of the track. That's how quickly it can go, really, and not a whole lot else going on in this race as far as the points are concerned. But maybe that will change when Wesker and Chubbs retire from this race, of course, as reserves. But that'll make this squabble a little bit more interesting. We've got Ripper Rick, Unsafe Release, PFC Steve, and even Alibaba and Timo bringing up the rear as well. So a large squabble for points is still on. It might be not a lot of points, but certainly points are still up for grabs. As we on lap 29 of 33, for the most part, it's been a good race. As Chubbs will get a much easier time of things, overtaking Sygate than anyone else in front of him, basically. So he is through on his mediums, and he's up into 7th place. Is Captain Chubbs' Sway continues to hunt down Ali for P5, and meanwhile, Unsafe Release and company, they are chasing Ripper Rick, who sits in the middle of the track. And PCC in this mix as well. Alibaba joining the fray, and Unsafe Release trying to go down the inside into turn 3. Runs very wide, but will get away with it. And PCC not close enough to make a move. But now Alibaba has been brought into the frame as well, and Timo won't be too long before he is as well. Of course, just pitted for fresh softs. And who's got the fast lap at the moment? Because it could end up being this PFCC, if that could end up being in the points. So we'll see if anyone does it. Alibaba picks up a 3-second penalty though, so it won't be him. Maybe Timo could get it, as Sway getting a little bit closer now to Ali, as those softs begin to drop off a bit now as we begin lap 30. Of course, he will have DRS as he has done these last few laps, but he's a bit closer now this time to do something about it. Enough ERS to do something about it, as well as Ali sticks to the right hand side, but there may be too much straight for Sway. Can he hang this around the outside? Comes inside for turn 2, side by side, and he gets the move done, and Sway moves back up to 5th place. But can he hold it, as Alibaba has had an accident somewhere on the main straight and is retired from this race? Safety car coming, perhaps. That'd be interesting. A 2-lap safety car with a last lap sprint. Be interesting indeed. As a Ripper Rick Unsafe Release. Ripper Rick trying to hold on to the position. Unsafe Release has to drop back. Hickey ran wide, and PFC Steve is here in the mix as well. Oh, contact! And PFC Steve is into the wall. He is still in this race. Does he pick up unsafe releases? No, he doesn't. But yeah, that he's lost his front wing, and that yeah, about sums up Toro Rosso's race today. So from the front, and the safety car is out. Yes, here we go. We're going to have a last few lap sprint. Will anyone pit? Someone's got to pit. Someone please pit. Who's got the margin? Wesker's got margin. Or sorry, Psychic got margin to pit. He could do it. And CVG's got a penalty for speeding under the safety car. So of course when the safety car comes out, you have to adhere to a certain delta. No one's coming in though. Here we go. Chubbs is in. I like the aggressiveness. Good stuff from Chubbs. Sygate should have come in, to be fair. 9 seconds to Wesker. Oh, Chubbs retires from the race. Okay. So Wesker will do the same as well. Okay, a good call from those guys. That as reserves, that's what they were going to do anyways. So no one pitting then. I thought someone might have gone for it. I know that obviously the gaps are small, and you've only got 1 lap basically, or 2 laps to you know, to get it done. But I tell you what, if this race had penalties, this would be really interesting right about now. But it's not. So who's in the best position here? Ali, not really. He's got 10 lap old softs. If anything's, well, AMG obviously is in the best position. He's on 13 lap old hard, so he's in the best position. Sway maybe might have some luck. Let's see. It all depends when the safety car actually comes in. If it comes in this lap, we get 2 laps of racing, and you know, that could be enough for something. A Psychic just he's gonna get eaten though. I'm amazed he didn't pit. He had 9 seconds. Yeah, safety car is in this lap. Timo as a seeing track limits. That's an interesting one. Why is Psyche not come in there? Like Wesker and Chubbs are behind him, or sorry, Chubbs is ahead of him. Wesker's behind him in like 10 seconds. So he was a reserve. He was retiring. 29 lap old hards. I'm amazed he hasn't come in. He would be eating these cars up in these last few laps. But not to be. But we are going to get 2 racing laps. So that's something. Let's see if maybe this race is still up for grabs. Of course, Steve G will have to serve his penalty. So at the moment, the podium positions are Thomas and Yaron by the looks of it. Let's see when AMG decides to go. Here's a good shot. Looks like he has given it a go. So he's got a good run there. Good restart there from AMG. He's going to be safely ahead of the chasing pack. Is anyone close to making an overtake? Ripper Rick will be close. Everyone else, I think they'll be holding station. DRS won't be enabled, as far as I know, for the rest of this race, so any overtakes will be have to done with fuel mixture and ERS alone. As Ripper Rick getting through Sygate. Simon says, oh, contact between the two, forces Ripper Rick off of the track, and he's ahead of Sygate. And look at this, who got Timo Storm around the outside. He is on fresher soft, so he's kind of in a good position here to try and make up some places late on. See Sway. Of course, ahead of Ali now, and if he can make any progress, if he can make 1 position in front of him on Yaram or Thomas, that would be a podium. As unsafe, you can see Sygate, Timo, Ripper Rick squabbling. This is for P7, so some good points up for grabs here. 6 points if they can get by. See if anyone's getting close up front. AMG, is he not in his car? He's certainly desynced and if nothing else, but maybe he's left the session. But oh, there he is. I was wondering what the story was, but Thomas is right behind CVG as we're going to begin. Oh, he's left the session. Wow. So, all of a sudden, Yaram, Thomas, this is for the race win. CVG is not service drive-through penalty. He's going to be disqualified, is he not? I could have sworn you had to serve your drive-through penalty. Under... Oh, he get disqualified, so that's interesting. I'll have to look at that afterwards, but this is the final lap of the race. F1 AMG still holds the lead, but once these corners are through, Stevie G will be taking that. I wonder if it'll be a penalty instead. Time penalty. That's a very strange one, but AMG's back into his car. Now, can he get back in before he loses a podium spot? No, Thomas is through. And Sway and Yarham following through as well, so potential places up for grabs here. Yarm is through. And Sway looks like he is through as well. So let me quickly look this up, because if I can get down in time, not too many. Yeah, drive-through penalty. CVG. That is the strange one. Under normal circumstances. Oh, and Yarm's gone round. It's got wing damage. Sway almost got into the back of him. I'm amazed Sway didn't get round. If he can hold it, Sway can get through in these last few corners, he'll have a podium. But otherwise, CVG at the moment is going to win this race, even though he had a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. But here he comes then out of the final corner. CVG crosses the line, and unserved drive-through is a 20-second penalty. Okay, that's what it is. He's going to drop way down the field then. So Thomas is your race winner, and Timo's out of this race. Where has he lost it? Has he been collected? Oh, there he is, right before the line. Wow. Absolute drama to end this Spanish Grand Prix. Okay, so in the past in F1 games, if you didn't serve your drive-through penalty, I believe you were disqualified. Maybe because it was the last 3 laps, maybe that's what the story was. But unserved drive-through, 20 seconds, wow, that's dropped him out of the nearly out of the points entirely. What a race. So Thomas then is your winner ahead of TMC Yarm and ahead of Sway in third. What a crazy, crazy race that was. Absolutely mad. I have no idea what happened to Timo there at the end. No idea. Wow. So Thomas then wins ahead of Yarm in second, 13th on the grid no less as well. Great drive from him. Yarm then in second, Sway then picks up pieces in third, Ali in fourth. AMG did rejoin and got back into his car, and he does finish fifth. Sidegauge finishes in sixth, Ripper Rick in seventh, CVG finishes in eighth, having won the race on track. Unsafe Release ninth, Awesome Dude 10th, and that is the finishing order. Timo didn't make. Who got fastest lap then? It looks like it's Unsafe Release 20.3. No, 20.1 Ali. So Ali picks up an extra point for the fastest lap. And of course, we lost obviously Timo or Wesker and chose I was retired for the reserves. PFC Steve, Alibaba Mark Demand, Tom Pretty, we all lost earlier on in this race. But what a crazy race that was. Not your usual Spanish Grand Prix, so thank you very much to the guys for giving the good race and the safety car as well for giving a bit of entertainment there close to the end. But that's going to do it for round number 5 of TMC Division 2. Next up, Division 1 boys will give oh, it's a good one. Monaco is the track that is going to be taking place on Monday, and that is exciting. So thanks very much for watching this crazy race, and until next time.